Hey, y'all. Hey, how are you? Welcome to another episode of Real Women, Real Talk. Y'all, this is episode 26. We
Yes.
are out here. We out here. Hey, sister, how you doing?
I'm good, sister. How you?
I'm well. So excited to be here with you all. I get to drive this episode. My name is Trenace Richardson, and I am the founder of Real Women. And I am joined by my sister,
The amazing Siobhan Carter. I am a facilitator for Real Women.
Yes, you are, Miss Carter. Hey, girl. So we are Real Women, Real Talk, and we are an extension of Real Women Rock, a membership 501c3. We exist to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work, soul work on themselves. And we focus on this through sister circles. We host virtual sister circles and in-person sister circles across the country and abroad. If we are not in your area, we are coming to you soon. We utilize the giftings of facilitators and connectors to help us birth these circles and to keep them going. And if you want to know more about who we are and what we do, would you please consider visiting our website at realwomenrock.org, realwomenrock.org. We give you a sneak peek, if you will, into the kinds of conversations that we have. I think last episode I mentioned that we're kind of born to do this, to have these type of kind of conversations. We love to kiki and we love to dig deep. And so if you're that kind of girl, we want you to join us, visit us at our website, and then come see us in person. And at the very least, like, share, follow this episode, this podcast with someone so that we can grow our audience. We have some major things planned this year for this podcast, and we need your help. So please share it with somebody. You ready to roll into this, sister?
I'm ready to roll.
All right now. So just first, real talk. How are you doing on this episode?
Let me tell you, me and Mother Nature are not in agreement right now.
Oh,
because
no.
she decides to pop up today after she has been inconsistent, coming every few months or whatever. The day before I am going on a vacation.
No, not trying to mess up your vacay.
I am leaving tomorrow to go on a cruise. I had my bathing suits all set up and ready to put on. And now she's like, whoop, flip the script.
Do you have cramps and all of that kind of stuff that go along with it?
Not too bad. It's just discomfort. So it's not like real bad cramps, thankfully, but I don't like to feel anything. So any type of discomfort is just
Yeah.
So,
Oh, baby. Well, may you still enjoy your vacay. Let me tell you something. I will never have a vacation mess up for that reason.
No, that's right. Let me tell
it won't be that reason.
Right. They need to come take mine.
I would have done something different, possibly had I thought through it, but I don't regret it the day that my equipment is gone.
I know it. Somebody come get my equipment, Lord.
But look, you wish you could just put it down for a second. I'll come pick it back up, but
exactly. So I was like, really, girl, really? Now you want to come on time. Now you want to be like clockwork.
Right. Now you want to be consistent.
Right. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to still have a good time.
Yes, you are. Enjoy yourself. Send me pictures.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm in a really good season. I am the word I think of is I am being gracious with myself in this season. And I think it's important because I am gearing up. Y'all gonna hear me keep saying it. This is my year 50. So we just gonna keep it going because it's happening. And it's happening to me and for me. And so because of that, I'm gearing myself up And there's something about what I have to look forward to where I can either be hard on myself and sabotage, like I decide, I want to be a certain this or a certain that, and then
Yeah.
just mess it all up and decide, forget about it. I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to do my exercise, prayer, meditation, and devotion. I'm not going to eat right.
Uh,
And what I've learned is I deserve the grace that I would extend to other people.
yeah.
I deserve that. So I'm giving myself grace and being kind and gentle and loving toward myself in this season.
Yeah.
It feels really good. Mhm.
Mhm.
So that's
I
how
love
I'm doing, girl.
I
Mhm.
I love that. I am such an advocate for self-love and self-awareness
You
and
sure are.
giving yourself what you would extend to others because it just creates exactly what you're feeling. So I love that you're
Mhm.
offering that gift to yourself.
I am. I feel good. So that's
Mm.
how I'm doing. During this real talk segment, we, just get a little get to know you question going, right?
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
that's what we're going to call it today. So I have a
Mhm.
really cool get to know you question. It was sparked from one of the sister circles after, we like to go eat afterward if we can. And so
Yeah.
it was sparked from there. Um, we happen to be majority. We welcome all women, and we can't wait to be in all parts of the world where all women are a part of our tribe, of
Mhm.
our circles. But currently, the majority of us are African American women,
Mhm.
and so there happen to be African American women at the table. And something sparked the conversation that made me ask, have you ever dated outside of your race?
Mhm.
And are you open to it? So I'm just wondering, sister, have you dated outside of your race and are you open to it?
So I never have.
Okay.
I have had, when I think about it, I've had interest from two people that I can remember that were outside of my race, of different nationalities, but it never went anywhere. One, I wasn't really attracted to, and the other one, I don't know what happened. We were just like a work thing, and then, it was
Mhm.
cute, flirty at work, but it never progressed into anything. So, yeah, I don't think I would date seriously outside of my
Mhm.
race. I am so connected to Black men and I just
Mhm.
love Black men.
Mhm.
So I don't have a desire to. Um, Not to say that I wouldn't be open. Nobody's ever approached me. So I was like, oh my God, he is amazing. So,
Mhm.
mm, yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I would have to experience it to be like, oh, okay, this is cool. But I think the
Mhm.
level of attachment that I have to my culture and Black men, that I don't think you can replace that. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
replicate.
Yeah. I hear you. I think it's something to think about.
Mhm.
And I mean, honestly, I don't see this particular topic as anything dealing with your preference for, whether you are prejudiced against people or not. I think
Mhm.
this is about preference. That,
Yeah, for sure.
that's kind of where I sit with it.
Hmm.
So I think everybody has a right to say this is who I would date, this is who I
Hmm.
wouldn't, this is who I would marry.
Yeah.
I have preferences. Tall, short, this, that. You have a
Mhm.
right to decide that. So having been married for a couple of decades now, I can speak toward my past and say I dated in high school someone who was not African American. I went to one of my proms because I went to two proms, but I went to one of my proms. I went to his prom,
Mm.
and he was Filipino.
Okay.
And yeah, and so, but you know how if you're at an all black school or mostly black school, even the other race kids there are real cool, down to earth, like,
Yeah.
so I felt like I was dating one of the guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
regardless of his race, at the time.
Mhm.
He was just a cool dude. And
Uh-huh.
I I think my mindset, if I were not married, my mindset, I would want it to be that I would be open to whomever showed interest in me to see, if we vibed. But I am
Mhm.
so similar to you. I think in my gut, I would want the cultural connection that
Mhm.
is sort of unsaid and automatic.
Yeah.
Um, of course, there are people, even who are African American, that I wouldn't vibe with or that I
Right.
wouldn't date.
Mhm.
But there's also something there that's
Mhm.
unsaid. It's just a connection. So
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. I would aspirationally, I'd want to be able to say, I think about being open to being treated well, period. I would
Mhm.
want that, aspirationally, I'd want that no matter what
Mhm.
package it came in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like for it to come in a
Yeah.
chocolate package. Yeah.
Exactly. If I had my preference, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So y'all listen, that was just a real talk opener question. We would love to know what you think. And
Mhm.
whether you would date, and even if you are not African American, whatever nationality you are, would you date outside of your race? Are you open to it? Would love to hear your thoughts. Now, this is one you can have some fun on. So
Right.
reach out to us at speakpipe.com/, real women, real talk, and tell us what you
Mhm.
think. We would love to hear it.
Yes.
And so sister, that was just the first segment.
Mhm.
We kind of at the shore right now. We want to go into our second segment, and it is called our deep dive because we
Mhm.
take an opportunity to really dig into a topic that perhaps has been discussed at a Real Women session. And this one has in a couple of different ways. I think we've done when we were doing regular Facebook chats. We've talked about it there as well as in a couple of circles in years past. And
Mhm.
it relates in some way to our first question. So I want to talk about colorism.
Mhm. Yep, that's
This is
major.
now, let me just slow down because this is a topic. This is a
Mhm.
topic.
Yep.
And if we don't hear from y'all on this topic now, come on, we want to hear from y'all
Yes.
because for those who are not clear, colorism is, it's an ism, so it's a prejudice against, but
Mhm.
it's not like race or nationality. It's within your race,
Mhm.
within your nationality, there is a prejudice against complexion or
Mhm.
hues of color. And so in the African American culture, light skinned and dark skinned,
It's a thing. Mhm. Yep.
it's a real thing.
Mhm.
And so we have had, I think we even in one of our lives, we with a couple of our sisters have had this discussion. I would love to know from you, have you experienced any prejudice regarding colorism?
Mhm.
First of all, what do you consider yourself as it relates to in that colorism spectrum? And then how have you been treated as a result of where you see yourself and where other people see you on the spectrum?
Yeah. So I am a nice chocolate dark skinned sister,
Yes, you are.
and I have not experienced colorism as far as prejudices are concerned.
Mm.
So I am from Florida, and I don't, maybe it's because of the sun, I don't know, but there
Mhm,
are a lot of dark complected people down south
mhm,
because
mhm.
maybe it's just because of us being in the sun. Not
The
to say that,
melanin is popping.
yeah, the melanin pops in Florida. And so it just never was a thing as far as prejudices are concerned.
Mhm,
However, I find it interesting that at some point I did become aware of light skin and dark skin,
mhm,
and had this feeling that light skinned girls were cuter.
mm,
And so, and I saw the boys gravitate to, the light skinned girls and that kind of thing. So in my mind, I concluded that a light skinned girl was prettier.
Mhm.
than me being a dark skinned girl.
Mhm.
So I don't know where I got that from. I'm not sure
Mhm.
where that messaging started or how I pulled those pieces together, but I do remember that piece. But I've never been teased or anything because of my complexion, because I think there were a lot of dark skinned girls, in my community, in my schools, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Let me tell you how significant that is,
Hmm.
because I am blessed to be able to say I have so many sisters in my life now. I haven't
Hmm. Yep.
always been able to say that, but real sisters in my life.
Hmm.
And many that I'm thinking of right now are gorgeous chocolate melanated women, right? And I don't even remember hearing you say this, because my recollection is I mostly hear that they have experienced some level of prejudice for
Hmm.
being dark skinned,
Mm.
either from guys not wanting to them versus
Mhm.
someone else who is, lighter, or even hearing it from older folks in their lives,
Mhm.
just hearing that difference between light skin, dark skin. So I, I caution myself in representing anyone that I am not. So
Mhm.
I won't speak for anyone, which is
Mhm.
why I'm hoping that some of you will speak up. But I love that you are giving another perspective to this.
Mhm.
That somewhere along the way you picked it up,
Yep.
the notion,
Mhm.
but it was more external than it was an experience that you had. That is
Right.
really interesting for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
That's good.
Mhm.
And I ask because being, oh, what do we see? Caramel, I don't know. Beige, I don't know. I'm a lighter skinned African American woman.
Mhm.
Um, you would think some people assume that I have not experienced any prejudice,
Mhm.
or that I have been favored only
Mm.
because of the lines that are typically drawn in the
Right.
sand related to light skin or dark skin.
Mhm.
But when it is assumed that you're getting the better treatment, or or that people like you better, or the boys like you better
Mhm.
because of your complexion, the hate gets piled on. It felt like for me even more. Like,
Mhm.
you don't even know me, and you dislike me now. Like,
Mhm.
that's not fair. At least get
Yeah.
to know me, and
Right.
before you assume I'm stuck up, you know.
Mhm.
Once I open my country mouth, you're gonna see I'm very relatable. But but if you don't give me a chance,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I had a lot of what I consider unfair treatment, which
Mm.
is why I did my best to fit in for a while. I did my best to. I think I've said this on the podcast before, but my cousins were all at least they were talking about it. I don't know, but in high school, some of them junior high school, they were talking about having sex with boys, or flirting with boys. Some, and I hadn't had any voluntary experiences yet. I'd
Mhm.
been molested, but I hadn't had any voluntary. But I was lying about having sex just because I wanted to fit in, and
Right.
and not stand out. So I've had unfair treatment or prejudice because I'm light skinned. And so
Wow.
it's just interesting to me when we've had these conversations in Real Women, that no matter what side of the fence you're on, you can
Mhm.
have or perceive challenges on either side. So
Mhm.
that's just interesting to me.
I
Yeah.
think it's interesting because, like I said, in my mind, I always felt like lighter complected girls just had it better. Like I
Mhm.
never thought until we've had these kind of conversations in Real Women that there was a prejudice on the other side,
Mhm.
because I just
Mhm.
thought you had the favor and the preferential treatment,
Mhm.
and that you didn't have the same struggles as a dark skinned girl. But I
Mhm.
I love, because it makes me think about, you remember the movie School Days? How they
Mm-hmm.
had and so they had the light skinned girls on one side and then the dark skinned girls on another side, and it was just like they were warring against each other, and it was so reflective of what happens in our community, especially for women. So yeah,
You
I
just
think
made me think, I don't want to be alone tonight. I was gonna watch that. I love that. But yes. You made me think about something though, because I want to ask this question, and I'm going to ask it and give my response first, and then see what you think. Because based on all of the prejudice and just external stuff that's out here, societally and environmentally, I think about whether I hold any prejudices regarding colorism, right? Because it's easy for me to point and say I've been treated unfairly, but have I treated anybody unfairly because of their hue or their complexion? So I think about that while I answer. I can honestly say I have, you know, and in a couple of different ways. One way is because I'm light skinned, and this is so crazy because it reminds me of the larger looming racism question, where if you Black and you don't like yourself, you will not be supportive of Black people. And but because I'm light skinned, I have and whatever's been taught to me or shown to me in society, I have thought of other light skinned people as stuck up. And so yes. So I have perceived other people that way. It's just been, I can't say that I've tried necessarily to treat someone different because of that, but I know it's been a thought in my head. And I remember pledging, and one of the reasons I pledged the sorority that I did was because I perceived the other sorority, at least the people on that campus in the other sorority, as, you know, passing the brown paper bag test and being light skinned and being stuck up. And I was like, I don't want no parts of that. I don't care what color y'all think I am. I don't want no parts of that. I'm going over here with these chocolate girls, and we're gonna have a good time together. So I've always seen darker skinned girls as the cooler girls, the more down to earth. I've gravitated, I think, even toward them. That's crazy. I'm saying that out loud right now. But it's because I just perceived this little stuck up thing, and I was like, I don't want no parts of that.
Yeah.
What about
that
you?
That is so funny. So I'm sitting here thinking, I can't think of an instance where I have given preferential treatment. I can't think of any.
That's good.
Honestly. I can't.
That's
when I
good.
think of women, light skin or dark skin, I see beauty on both sides. Like when I see a light skinned girl, I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. And then when I see a dark skinned girl, it's like, oh my gosh, she is so pretty. Like, look at her skin, it's glowing. So it's like I can see the beauty in both. So if I have, I can't, nothing is coming to mind.
Yeah. That's amazing and beautiful. There is a sense of, I want you to think about, as I talk about these historical root causes, because I want you to think about, maybe it's because of your Florida roots. And like you said, they were just like where that purity in perception comes from, because society gives us so many reasons to have a different perception, right? And kind of pits us against each other in some ways. From the movies and all those things, we just get a different perception. And so I started thinking about the root causes of colorism. And I know that it's, you know, I don't know if this is the start, but I know in this country, a start of colorism is slavery, because it was, you know, at the point that slave masters started having sex with slaves and producing these lighter skinned kids who were their kids.
Right.
they
Exactly.
got favored because it was their kids, and that's
Mhm.
how you ended up with a field nigga and a house nigga,
House
right?
nigga, right? Yep.
And so so house, that whole house slave, house nigga kind
Mhm.
of concept, with the lighter skinned mulatto,
Mhm.
all of that kind of permeated throughout history,
Yeah.
where you think you better because you lighter, because you whiter, because
Mhm.
and it has just persisted, I think, throughout history. So there is a tangible, logical root cause for why
Mhm.
it has happened that is not our fault, but we have perpetuated, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's in our
Yeah.
bloodline for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then individually, root causes, I think, is a whole nother level. I
Yeah.
know it's connected to the historical larger issue,
Mhm.
but if I personally don't love myself for some reason, if I
Mhm.
don't love the way I look, and I'm not just thinking about my color, right? But if I don't like my nose, or
Mhm.
if I don't like my lips, or if I don't like my gut, or if I don't
Mhm.
like my hair, then anybody who looks like this, anybody who has these features, I
Mhm.
might think less of them too, because I think this makes me look chubby, or this makes me,
Mm.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so thinking about that in the context of complexion, I can easily see how we might prejudice ourselves. And thinking about myself, I'll just make it about me,
Mhm.
because I did not want to be perceived as stuck up.
Yeah.
I created an alliance with those, in
Yeah.
my head anyway,
Right. Right.
those who were not generally perceived as stuck up,
That's stuck up. Right.
and yeah, and created distance, with those who are perceived as stuck up. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
I think there's some very individual reasons
Yeah.
why we may practice it, as well as some very big reasons that we can't control.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I can see that because I've heard of friends' stories where, like you said, it can be connected to the deeper issue and just also what happened in family dynamics and
Mhm.
environments and households that shaped the perspective about light skin versus dark skin. One was better than the other. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
But I am really like sitting here thinking like, dang, I can't think of any experience that stands out. Because I had both complexions on in my family,
Mhm.
and that was never. Now there were some other things that we could talk about that were
Sure,
prejudices, but
sure.
this wasn't one of them.
Right, that's a whole nother that's another episode.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Uh,
okay, so to bring this full circle, because we are in a virtual sister circle, right? So
mhm,
in order to figure out how to resolve, or to eradicate even this
mhm,
idea of an ism
mhm.
based on something none of us have any control over. Like we
Right.
we can't control our
Exactly.
complexion. How we come out is how we come out.
Mhm,
And I think about, you know, all of the ways in which we are working on ourselves and working on our connections and
mhm,
relationships with other people. And I'm wondering if we can come up with any tangible, practical ways that we can combat colorism. Like, how do we
mhm,
work on this issue of colorism? While you're thinking, the one thing that comes to mind is this practice, and I think it's a Buddhist practice,
mhm,
where you just think of anyone, either specifically or in generally, as a people, as a subgroup of people you may have an issue with, or an individual that
mhm,
you may have an issue with, and you think to yourself that, just like me, that's what you continue to use, right? The just like me, this person has issues.
mhm,
Just like me, this person has dreams. Just
mhm,
like me, this person loves. Just like me, this person hurts.
mhm,
And it it brings you back to putting yourselves, aligning yourselves with them, and putting yourselves in the same melting pot, right? That or salad bowl, however you want to do it. But the idea that we are more alike than we are different. And even though that might work for someone you just have aught against because of conflict, I believe it does even help with aligning ourselves despite our differences that we can't control.
Yeah.
That's one. Any thoughts come to mind?
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts. The first one is having conversations like this. I think it sheds light, one, on any prejudices that we may have or how we perceived or any thoughts that we have about colorism, where we stand. So it helps us to be self-aware and to hear from the other perspective, from the other side. And so I think that created, in the times that we've had these conversations, it created such a healing space for us to hear each other, to see each other, and just to leave with a different perspective and understanding about the other woman. So I think that's one way to help combat colorism. And then it seems like all of my nuggets lead back to self, because I just can't help it. Because I'm the relationship advocate. That's what I do. So I think it's also acknowledging and exploring, how do I feel about colorism? And if I have something associated with that, where does that come from? And how do I desire to shift that within me? But it starts with, where is my issue? Is there a trigger for me? Because I think it starts there, and then exploring, well, how do I feel about the other side, or the other complexion. So I think that self-exploration can help also, because that can shift your perspective and help you to treat people differently.
That is so good. So for the women especially, but anyone listening who maybe you haven't thought about this topic at all, it's just been something, below the surface that happens subconsciously around you and in you. And now you're being asked to think about it by listening to this episode. Or maybe you are very aware of this topic because things happen to you all the time that make it's a prevalent topic. Or you hearing these thoughts have made you aware that you have prejudices of your own that you have been living out. Wherever you are in that spectrum, doing that self-exploration, getting into conversations that will allow you to dig deeper and to explore and allow the answers to come up out of you, because we really do believe that that's where they reside. Having those kinds of conversations really does help bring about a healing and a greater awareness. And so we would love for you to have those, begin to shed light on this topic in the spaces that you're in, maybe looking at your life and your connections and being able to begin talking about what you see. And then we would love for you to share it with us. We would love to hear from you on this topic. Reach out to us at speakpipe.com/real women, real talk on this topic. We will circle back and maybe share some of your thoughts, maybe even share your recording. And if it cuts off on you after the 90 seconds, just pick back up, call again, and reach back out to us to continue. We would love to hear your thoughts. This was good.
It was.
So thank y'all so much for indulging us with our deep dive. We really went somewhere with that one. That one was different and fun. And so now we go to our third segment, and this is called Putting Myself in Her Shoes. And sometimes it's his shoes or their shoes. This is an opportunity for us to talk about a current event or a trending topic, or maybe a scenario that has come up for us related to maybe what we've been talking about or otherwise. And we want to see what we would do in that situation. We want to put ourselves in this person's shoes so that we can be introspective instead of pointing fingers and judging. So, sister,
Yep.
I have a scenario.
Okay.
And it's all connected to the topics we've been talking about, these isms out here. And so this is you. This is just you. I haven't even named this person. This is an opportunity for you to really figure out what you would do.
Okay.
You have joined an exclusive high profile networking club that has tons of perks. I mean, you decided to put your money up for it, and once you got in there, they delivered on their promises. You are experiencing major benefits from being a part of it. Partnerships and collaborations and networking galore. It is benefiting your life personally and professionally to be a part of this exclusive high profile networking club. But you find out that the club is not just exclusive based on credentials and experience as you thought when you joined, because they asked for all of that. You find out that they also exclude some people based on their skin tone and their socioeconomic status. So you can't get in if you look a certain way or if you don't have a certain amount of money. Even if you can pay to get in, you can't get in if you don't have a certain amount of money to stay in. How do you handle it? What do you do now that you're a part of this exclusive high profile networking club that you are clearly benefiting from, but you know now that some people are excluded for very surface reasons?
Oh, I'm struggling with that one. So on the one hand, if it was just the socioeconomic part, I think I would be okay with it because you have some organizations that's exclusive in that way. So I wouldn't mind that.
Country clubs and that kind of stuff.
So it's like I understand. It's just is what it is. But the skin complexion part, that would get me. That would get me. And it's because I guess what we talked about, like I don't have any that I am aware of prejudices against skin tone. So if I see it, that's gonna bother me. That would rest that I oh gosh. Because I'm thinking about an organization that I feel as strongly as I do about Real Women. So I'm trying to find that feeling, right? So as strong as I feel about Real Women, if there were an equivalent organization that was high in status, oh man, that would get I don't know. I don't know what I would do. That I would be wrestling with that though, because I think it would cause me to look at that organization different because I would be coming in just thinking it's one thing, just thinking that it's just socioeconomic, and then to see that it is this surface level about the skin complexion. That would cause some conflict within me that I would have to resolve at some point. But I don't.
Yeah. Let me build on that. So I have the same struggle that you're speaking of, and I do understand the socioeconomic piece for some organizations. So related to other more surface things, one of my thoughts in thinking about putting myself in this scenario is, can I change it from the inside, right? Can I, because I'm a member of it, can I help us pivot and broaden our perspective and change how we do things because I'm on the inside of the organization?
Okay.
That was one of my thoughts.
Gotcha.
And so I think because I'm already there and I'm already benefiting from it, I think I would start there. I heard that this is something that we do. Do we really do this? Like, has this been a thing? And if I found out, if it was verified for me, or, I was able to get some some verification. I think I would push us, let's think, can we think twice about this? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I figured out that there was no change involved, I do believe that I am this person, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been able to put it into practice in surface way, in little ways. I am
Mm-hmm.
looking forward in my life to put it into practice in bigger ways, to be very honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be the person that would be like, the hell with this. Like,
Okay.
I don't need this.
Right.
Because whatever connections y'all can give me, like, if y'all gonna be that ugly, like, I don't want to be here when the lightning strikes. Whatever's gonna happen to y'all, I don't. And I don't, I don't mean that literally. I just mean, I believe karma. I believe stuff comes back to you when you treat people wrong, and I just wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to be associated with an organization that is known for that. Once I figure out that that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
It would be hard for me, which is why I would be trying to change it from the inside. Like, come on, y'all, get your stuff.
What I can do. Right, exactly. That's tough. Yeah.
Can we be more? And so I compare that to, like, there are some people who put their nose up at Greek organizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
I chose to be in a Greek organization because at the time and since, I don't see any negative. I've only seen sisterhood and positive. I've heard but my experience has been positive. And I'm going to the degree that I'm involved, I'm going to try to promote positive and perpetuate positive. So I can think of organizations that I love that are exclusive. You got to do certain things to get in, or you got to apply and that kind of thing. That I don't think anything is wrong with that, as long as you're doing right by people. So
that's the thing that would get me. Like, don't do that to my sister.
Yeah. It makes me think. Last thing, it makes me think about all the conversations we've had about real women in trying to develop and scale up with our mission and our vision. We've had to talk about in business meetings and in, vision sessions, who are we and who do we want to be to women? Do we want to charge the kind of price points that exclude some women? Or, and this is so bad, but I'm still going to say it out loud because this is Real Women, Real Talk. But, the words have even, do we want to be Walmart and Target? Or do we want to be, some high-end store, right?
Nordstrom
as it relates to affordability. And so we made a decision to have quality and be affordable. That's a decision because we want to be accessible to as many women as possible. And so you would have to go somewhere else to feel that elitist exclusivity, because we don't do that here.
We do not. No, we sure don't. And I love it.
Yeah, this was good. Yay.
Good conversation.
Yeah. So thank you for helping me put ourselves in the shoes of this scenario. I think all of this has, been so in the realm of the isms, right? And how we handle them. Our next segment is Spiritual Nugget. And I'm just wondering, sister, has anything come up for you related to what we've been sharing or just in your spirit, period?
Yeah, I think as it relates to the deep dive conversation, just I would admonish you to just explore where you are as it relates to the topic of colorism. That's what I would offer. Like, where are you with it? How do you feel about your complexion? Another hue's complexion? How do you feel about that? And if you do feel any triggers or discomfort, I would just offer to dig in and see what that's about. Because you can impact change as it relates to colorism.
I love that. Digging in.
Yeah.
We love some excavation, boy.
Yeah, we gonna get that excavation, honey. We gonna get that work in. I love it.
We gonna do some work. And
Yeah.
if you all are interested in doing some work with us, we would absolutely love to have you join us in the work. Um,
Mhm.
I've often said life is not easy. You can walk in ease and flow, but life is not going to present itself as easy.
Right.
And so you have the option to choose your heart. You can
Mm,
either fight against the work or you can do the work.
yeah.
but but either way, there is work to be done. And
Either
we would
way.
absolutely love to help you with the work of self-development, of personal development, of soul development, of really figuring out who you are and who you are created to be. So, would you consider going to our website, realwomenrock.org, to find out more about us and our sister circles, our annual events, our quarterly events? We have many things special planned over the next several months.
Mhm.
And you go to realwomenrock.org to stay in touch with us. Give us your email address and allow us to stay connected with you, and share this with someone. Share this podcast, have conversations about these things. We would absolutely love for you to join the circle in an active way. This was good, sister.
Was good. I love it.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for being with us. We appreciate you. This was episode 26, and we'll see y'all soon because we are real women.
And real women talk.
Yes, we do. Bye, y'all.
Bye.